No, I think we knew what type of match we were going to have, but I think today it's very good. The match we had, how we played it, we showed that we are not just a team that knows how to play offensive football. If we have to get our hands dirty, we'll get our hands dirty. Sorry for the expression. We have no problem with that. They thought we were going to come and play in tuxedos, that we were just going to come and make some nice plays. 1-2. We know how to play dirty football too.
And we did it today. We won. And even in that, we were better than them.
There were several situations where they surrounded you before the penalty or Caceres at the end of the match.
It's their football, their way of playing. Yakima, everyone plays with their strengths. Yeah, there is no right or wrong way to play football. There is only one way, and that's to win. They tried to beat us like that, but we beat them like that too. Now we move on to the next stage. We need to recover and focus on Morocco.
First confirmed quarter-final matchup, then France are going to meet Morocco Thursday in Boston, a rematch of the semi-final won by France at the last World Cup. And these scenes are fascinating. That's one way to play football. Thierry Henry, Paraguay's approach.
Football won. I don't want to talk about Paraguay. I want to talk about what France did, how they stayed composed, how Kylian Mbappe was laughing at the end, how a lot of the players didn't react to the provocation, although they finished. I think we took 3 yellow cards and one at the end for Paraguay, but at the end of the very day, that's the World Cup. That's how it is. It's not always going to be easy. But well done. They stayed calm. It was very difficult. And like I said, football won.
It is interesting, Zlatan, because up till today it has been pretty easy for France. This is a different type of victory. They got it done. They had to dig in, but they got it done.
It was a different challenge for them today. It was more about not to get provocated, stay composed, stay calm, don't lose your balance, and don't fall for the trick that they were doing. Paraguay, yeah.
Is it hard in the face of those moments?
It is. I would get 4 red cards in this game. And maybe send somebody to But yes, it is what it is, and I like to play it. I like to play the real game. I don't like somebody try to provoke it. But he's part of the game, and he's not part of the game. But France, they showed calm. They were relaxed. They did what they need to do. They gave them a smile. That's the best way to respond. Smile, score goals, win the game. Go with your fans now and celebrate. That's the best way to respond.
Mbappe again, 19 goals in 19 World Cup games. But did the change come? You both wanted Doué to come on in the second half,
yes.
Thierry. Is that when it changed?
Yes, we talked about it. Zlatan said it at half time. He's a guy that's better in tight spaces.
And Henry said it before the game.
No, but joking aside, at the end of the day, still, he made the difference. But as soon as Desiree got that ball in first, it was almost a free kick, then it was a penalty. But look, like I said, it was difficult. And, yeah, that's what is Ryan doing?
Yeah, Jack Sparrow.
France got the job done. The penalty from Kylian Mbappe. 1-0, the final score. Paraguay go home. France go through. Kylian Mbappe with the winner from the penalty spot then. His 7th goal of the tournament moves him level with Lionel Messi. Mbappe leads the Golden Boot race on the assist tiebreaker. He has 2 assists. Messi has none. The reaction? Let's have a look at a watch party in Paris. The fans hoping that Didier Deschamps' men are on their way to reclaiming that trophy. More reaction to this one. Stay with us, Zlatan and Thierry. More thoughts when we come back.
But ultimately, France won't care because they got through to the next round.
So this is where we're up to. France against Morocco is our first quarter-final. That will be in Boston on Thursday. So the other last 16 ties in this half of the draw. Portugal against Spain, Monday night on BBC One from 7:30. And the USA against Belgium. That really is a great half of the draw, that. And then on the other side, Mexico, England, live here on the BBC from midnight with Kelly and the team, and then the game kicks off at 1 a.m. Monday morning. You can also catch up with it on BBC Two at 7:10 later that morning. Brazil or Norway await the winners of those two. That quarter-final will be in Miami, and then you've got Argentina, Egypt, and Switzerland against Colombia as well. Kylian Mbappe heading off down the tunnel with security with him. I don't know whether that's to protect him from fans or the Paraguay team. I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a look at the penalty. I mean, the fact that he didn't give the penalty, first of all, is all... I don't know how many times I'm going to say beggar belief in this half hour, but that beggars belief as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Doué come on and he just changed the game. That injection of pace, I think Barcola wasn't enough space from in the game, but you could see here clearly. It's clipped, and the referee should have seen it. It was the right decision. Gone to VAR, they made the correct call in the end, but I don't know how he didn't see it first off checkers.
Well, about 2 minutes before that, he probably should have had a free kick.
Look how close he is.
As well should do it, yeah.
I can't believe they did not give us ref cam for that. Because
that's a good point,
he's staring
isn't
straight at it. What am I seeing here?
You're seeing the Paraguay manager suggesting it was a dive.
And this as well, honestly.
This infuriates you.
If I'm Kiel, I don't care if that's my own player. I'm ripping his shirt off his back. That is not how I want to play the game. Disgusting. I'm so glad he sat him down and slotted this. Yes, Kylian, yes.
Just that composure as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas.
Absolutely, yeah. That's when they lost me, that was the last moment, you know, going at the penalty spot and trying to manipulate it. That's really bad sportsmanship, and that's why I was so sympathetic towards Kylian Mbappe. We all love him for what he does on the pitch, but this gesture, I couldn't agree more.
I love that.
I love that celebration.
I absolutely love that.
The celebration is just like...
I wonder what goes through your head to think, do you know what? I will just put my foot between and try and dig up a little bit of the penalty spot.
They've been caught up in the emotion tonight, no doubt about it, and they've probably made a pact before the game. Whatever it takes, we're going to get through this game. But they've gone way too far. But the referee could have put a lid on that. A modern day referee could have booked early on 2 or 3 occasions and stopped any of that. But he let it flow. And Paraguay were always going to push the boundaries.
But 7 goals for Mbappe, the graphic there. Just
yeah, sorry, my
amazing.
bad. Yeah, but what a player. We touched on him before, and he'll keep scoring, and he kept coming and coming tonight. All right, he didn't have the chances, a few good saves towards the end that we're going to see.
That's why you analysed him before the game, Chappers.
I dug him out.
He was going to score.
Yeah. 2 days I was researching that analysis for the game.
Give us the analysis on the Hill saves at the end, because, I mean, he was amazing against Germany, as we said with Thomas. This is a great double save.
This is a really, really good save. Kone, I think that Paraguay, when they were fit and they had the legs before Doué came on, They were limiting France to these sort of shots. The spin on this is actually an excellent save as he's kind of just rips away from it. You see that ball spinning, great feet from Hill, and flicks it over the bar. And we talked that pass by Elise is absolutely frightening. But this is just I think this was in extra time.
Yeah.
Double save from Hill. It's just through a body. So it's such a strong save, getting himself back up again, trying to keep his team in it as best he can. That's the little bit of quality that Paraguay did offer tonight. That's such a great save down to his right. Any young goalkeeper, it's not about making a save. You've got to get yourself back up, make yourself big, strong. Such a good save, this to his right.
That's a phenomenal save.
Yeah.
It goes through the Paraguay defender's legs as well, and his hand is then... I listened to you.
Thank you.
His hand is really strong.
Yeah. No, look, he made big saves, and no doubt about it. He probably would have thought he would have been tested more tonight. But yeah, he was protected well in certain ways, but when the big moment came, Mbappe sat him down.
There is an element of being not sympathetic towards Paraguay, but their plan was, we're going to defend like we did against Germany, and we want to try and frustrate them. And it's a little bit of being niggly or a little bit of housery is all right, isn't it, if you are the underdog, but not to the extent that they took it to.
They went too far, absolutely. You know, they played to their strength most of the time, and I think at some point they realised they get away with these things. You know, they're arguing with the opposition, and the referee never stopped it at any moment. And when they realised the first yellow card went to Barcola, they must have been thinking, this is our night. We can just continue. We are protected by the referee. And yes, you know...
that was a horrible... I mean...
yeah, absolutely. He goes against the knee, and then they just continued that way. Look at that. Not quite sure whether, you know, Mbappe is at fault and he did this on purpose. But overall, there were too many of these little incidents where most of the time, you know, they were provocative, and you could really feel for any of the French players to say, we've had enough here, but we have to control ourselves, otherwise we get sent off. You know, and here you see the frustration there. He gets kicked on the shin. At first, we felt like, you know, this was a sending off. It wasn't too bad, and yet you could see the instinct was always there. Just hurt them.
Yeah, but the referee needs to get control of the game.
David Beckham got sent off for that. I mean, it doesn't warrant Mbappe's reaction, probably. And there's the elbow there.
Yeah, but when you're not going to get a yellow card for him, it gives him an incentive to do it. I just don't understand. And Galazzi, you've talked about him.
I don't want to say anything anymore. No.
Yeah, let's not give him any airtime, actually. He doesn't need his name mentioning.
Oh, there's the ref cam.
There's the ref cam for you. And then he leaves a bit on him after. Oh, it's our mate again.
This is your bit where he laughs at him that you like.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. So many of them players would have wanted his shirt before
And one moment towards the end, he got the ball. He didn't even try to do something with the ball. He was waiting for somebody to go near him to tackle him again or to elbow him. And this is what I mean. This got nothing to do with football. All he wants to stir things up and trying to get a player sent off. This got nothing to do with football.
And actually, for Didier Deschamps, who obviously talks to the ref and asking questions at various times, that last bit with the ball in the corner with Mbappe is kind of heart-in-your-mouth situation, because as Stephen said in commentary, the last thing you want is a Paraguayan going through Mbappe in the final minute of stoppage time and taking him out when you've still got, they would hope, another 3 games.
Yeah, but it didn't happen in the end. I think we've talked about that. I think they've got to behave a lot better, but in the end, I think the France team just dealt with it brilliantly. They didn't get too frustrated. There were a couple of reactions where you're thinking, just leave it, because that's exactly what they wanted, someone to get sent off. It didn't happen. But the referee, he's got to do a lot better. He's got to do a lot better in that game, and I think he allowed the game to go that way because he didn't give out any yellow cards.
I think overall as well, that game is also an example of not this whole tournament, but what we're seeing is that a lot of the so-called smaller sides can keep the bigger sides out with tactics and organisation and fitness, and that the gap between, I know Paraguay are by no means, 120th, but that it's a lot more even if you are well organised. We're not seeing a lot of teams being walloped, are we?
Not many, that's true, and that's the beauty of this World Cup. We've seen smaller teams, they've done really well, obviously last night with Cape Verde against Argentina and various other teams. Yes, but I think tonight they've gone too far. Like I said, we have a lot of respect for the underdog, we have a lot of respect for teams who leave everything on the pitch, but tonight I've seen too much where I'm losing the respect, and like I said, it's bad sportsmanship. And that's when I think the underdog, they must do better, because France, they've showed class, not just the way they play football, but on the human side of it. And I have so much respect for that, because you can't buy that, you can't train. They have class, and Paraguay, they lost the reputation, I think, was quite damaging.
But do you think that alters as well how we view the so-called bigger teams if they don't, put 3 or 4 past them? Should we stop being, I know Germany went out and the reaction's been very harsh there, but...
Yeah, I think we want a lot more from the bigger teams, but I think it's the water breaks. I think if you look at the game and after 22 and a half minutes, if you can get through that period, get a rest and then go again, and then get a rest in the second half as well. I know we've said the momentum sort of changed and the tactics and managed to go over there, and then the team can go out in that second quarter, as it were, and be a lot different. But I actually think, if I'm a defender now, and thinking, as we would do normally, we go throughout the half, and there's certain moments in the game where I might need a breather. You know what I was like. I could get up, but I couldn't get back. But if in my head, subconsciously, I think I could get to 22 and a half minutes, get the rest, and then go again. I think that's what's altering sort of the smaller nations and the bigger nations too.
We often talk about why don't goalkeepers catch the ball.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example of why goalkeepers should catch the ball.
Midway through, Mike are quizzing me here. Magic Mike plucks it. This is absolute quality. When you've got a speedster like Kylian Mbappe, if you can produce that pass, it's a thing of beauty. We're going to see another angle in a minute. And I think quarterback is the shout there. That is absolutely brilliant. Just wish he would have got it out his feet, but he just got a little bit caught up, probably a little handball. But that would have been an unbelievable goal. And what a way to break down a low block if you can do things like that. The one time that they got into the half, really, that long throw, catch it and zing it into his path. Beautiful.
He kind of cuts across that.
It's an art. It's a real art. Did
you have that?
I tried. No, I did. No, I'm standing on it, mate. Yeah, I did.
You did do that, yeah.
Yeah, I like that pass. That pass. No,
Would you practice
that bit? Yeah, all the time.
Right.
all the time, that pass, especially if you had a speedy striker like Kylian Mbappe. And Mike Mignan would have been probably frustrated in this tournament so far because of the low blocks that he's been playing against. But when he got that chance, you knew that Mbappe, immediately he knew, I've got space to go into. And if Mignan could execute like he did, that was a really great opportunity.
All right, let's turn